Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I am so thrilled. I'm Becky, the Executive Director of the Hawaii International Film Festival, and I'm thrilled to welcome you with this special HIFF Talk story with the amazing Keala Settle and Leanne Ferrer. Leanne Ferrer is the Executive Director of Pacific Islanders and Communications. She is an award-winning filmmaker in her own right and has over 30 years of experience in the film and television industry. Leanne and Pick are amazing supporters of Pacific Island films across the world, and at HIFF, Pick is the sponsor of our Pacific Island Showcase. I highly recommend everyone check out all the incredible films we have available in our Pacific Island Showcase this year. And without further ado, I welcome Leanne Ferrer.
Thank you, Becky, and thank you for just doing such a wonderful job. A year ago, if someone had told both of us that HIFF would have to do this now, we'd be like, you're crazy. But you guys are doing it, and you're just showing everyone how to do it right. So congratulations on that amazing pivot. I'm Leanne Ferrer, Executive Director of Pacific Islanders and Communications, and our organization brings Pacific Islander stories to the world. And one of the best storytellers I know is Miss Keala Jane Settle. Aloha, aloha. So Keala, you were born and raised in Hawaii, am I right?
Born and raised on the North Shore.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any other name we can call you other than Keala, or do you just...
My full name, because my mother gave it to me, is Tisamari Keala Joan Settle, and I was named after her mother and my father's mother. And then I was given the name Keala because of the place where I was born, in honor of that, and out of respect for that. So yeah, that's my name, Keala.
Awesome. Becky, do you want to ask any questions, or do you want me to
start? Bring it. Let's go. Let's talk about it, man.
There are so many questions. I think, a lot of our audiences I know will be interested in how you made that transition from Hawaii, being born and raised in Hawaii, into, the early stages of your career.
It's not easy. It's what I love and miss about home, because it is home, is how kickback it is, and how in so many ways, as a culture that also gathers many cultures within the Polynesian Triangle, we tell stories. We do that already. We know how to do that because it's vital to remember our heritage and remember our ancestry and how we got where we are. So that part of it was cake, because that's what we do by nature. I think the rest of, the lifestyle was what was hardest. I remember years ago spending my first sort of fall winter over in southern Utah, and it was snowing, and I was in my shorts and t-shirt and slippers going, you guys, there's snow. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, you guys, I can't have you with me. We gotta go. And just fully not even realizing why that was happening, because it was just such a foreign thing to me. And, not just the seasons, but also interacting with other people, because we as a culture and a society are back on the island, there are things that we don't have to say because we all know and we understand and we recognize. And that's not the same over here on the continental United States. So yeah, that was a massive culture shock. And I think in a lot of ways, I'm still kind of going through that, because that part of me that is like, look, this is all I can give you. And I'm grateful that you're asking me for it. And if you're asking me for more, that's like alchemy. And I fully cannot do that. But I will give you whatever I can, as long as I'm safe and you're safe, that kind of thing. Because the industry can be that way, but it can also be one of the most fulfilling opportunities that you'll ever have if you have that opportunity. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I want to kick it back to your origin story. So let's look at baby Keala. She's in Laie, going to Kahuku High.
She sure is. She sure is, though. Welcome.
Were you performing then? Were you in plays? What were you doing that was showcasing future Keala?
To be fair, I was hiding it. I was really scared. Again, because that's the mentality of sort of when we're on an island, it's like, yeah, I cannot, shame. That was what I was. And so every time I was asked to sing, I kicked tooth and nail and just refused to do it because I was so scared. There's this one time I was at PCC and the Polynesian Cultural Center. I can't believe I don't have to say that because I'm talking to everybody like, oh, I just fully realized I'm talking to everybody at home. Yes. Anyways, in my hometown in Laie, nothing kicks off until 9:15 because that's when everybody goes home. And your job for the peoples is pahanas. So they leave. And so in our little community of Laie, Kahuku, Haula, Kava, and even Sunset Beach, all of that little area, at 9:15, we kick off. So like once a month or once every other week, we would do these concerts. And in the beginnings, when I was a kid or getting into a teenager, we would do them at PCC where the night show was and is. And, but we had to wait for everybody to, pall work because they all had to get out of their stuff and then they had to get into their real stuff because we were doing a full-on concert that lasted until like the wee hours in the morning, which was so amazing to me. That was regular for me. That was normal to me. But I remember one of the times we had a show at PCC. It was like 9:30, 9:45. And my mom had told me the whole time, daughter, you're going to sing. I don't want to cry. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to sing it. And she goes, well, you don't have a choice. You're going to. So I had to meet her backstage over at gate 11. Give it up for everybody like yes. So I went back gate 11, parked my bike over there, came back, and I was in t-shirt and shorts and slippers. And my mom had this dress and she goes, you're going to wear this dress. And I said, no, I'm not. So she fully chased me down. She pulled the dress over my t-shirt and shorts and she grabbed a pair of high heels. And while she grabbed a pair of high heels, I ran down. There's 2 tunnels to get out to the main stage at the PCC night show. Well, there was. I don't know if it's still there. But I fully ran down the tunnel. I was like, she was dosing the shoes at me because she thought I was going to fully put them on. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I get out on stage barefoot. I have t-shirt and shorts underneath this Sunday dress that I was supposed to wear that she actually got on me. And then all of a sudden, all I could hear was ding, 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 ding. And they played the song. I was like, frack, here I go. Oh my gosh. And I fully started singing, but I was going, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm doing this right now. Because I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed. There were so many things. Because a lot of it was, everybody in Hawaii, we're all trying to find where we are from. And I think that's worldwide, especially these days. And so to be able to connect to your roots and what that means for you. For me, I have roots all across the board. And so it was very hard for me to do that because they were so contrasting in nature. I had my father who was from England and my mother who was from New Zealand. And I was living in Laie, which was this melting pot of cultures and trying to go, where do I fit in? Don't make me sing because I'm too scared. So that was legitimately my whole high school life. And even into university, I did the same thing. I was petrified. I pretty much did the same thing up until 4 years ago. And then I didn't have a choice. I really had no choice. I could not be afraid anymore. But yeah, the end. Such a long answer.
I think so many people, especially women, are going to identify with that feeling of don't be too loud.
Take a spotlight. Yeah, don't take a spotlight. Because the second you do, you're going to get every question under the sun. And probably not only that, you're going to get a backhand or you're going to get some kind of negative response to it. So just to keep you safe, don't even try.
So how did you break free from that? And how do you, because I'm sure you handle criticism, and there still to this day is probably criticism.
There is, and there will always be. I think there, in that regard, wherever there's fear, that will exist, and fear will never go away. Ironically enough, because we have to know what the other side of fear is in order to appreciate it and accept it. So that will always be there. But that being said, yeah, I didn't really start to accept it until I got tagged to do this stinking movie, because I had no choice at that point. Because at that point they were like, oh my gosh, Keala, you're the voice. I'm all, no, but I'll just sing this song for you because you asked me, and where's my $500? Because that's how it went down. That's exactly how it went down. They're like, thanks, Keala. I'm all, where's my $500? And where's my bottle of Jameson? Thanks so much. Because you promised. I don't even care. That's how it went down. Because for me, when I had the chance to sort of transition into doing stage shows and live performances for a living, then it became the whole idea of business and going, yes, I can do this. What do you need me to do? I can give you this for this much money. I can give you this for this much money. Yes, I will do it. And you know that when I say yes, I will give you, there will be no gate on it. I will give you everything that's required of me, because as we were raised to be the best that we can. And I will give that to you if you are respecting me with the amount of money you're going to give me. So yeah, I did that. And at that point, it was getting a little bit much, but the whole time I was going, no, still good. And then I finally got to this reading of this film, which doesn't ever happen. They don't do readings for films. They never do that. You just kind of get a script and they say, well, you have to audition for it first, and then you get a script. They don't read it all, and go, what should we do? Should we, they don't do that. But because there was music in this, they did. And the first time I was asked to do it, just because a very, very good friend of mine who had cast me in a lot of shows in New York was casting this reading. It was just a reading. And they're like, do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, sure. How much? Yeah, I get. Yeah, go. Come. That's really what it was. Because, as when you work in New York City, when you did, and hopefully that will come back, you work a lot of jobs to make ends meet. So if you're lucky enough, you do have an evening job. And while you finish that evening job, probably even in your break from that evening job during that night, you're learning another show that you're going to go workshop and test out the next day. You're constantly on the move. It's the hustle. It truly is, to not only just keep working and to try and keep getting whatever money you can to survive, to pay the rent, but to also just kind of keep, what you have up and running and up and going and challenging yourself. So yeah, it really wasn't until that movie when they were like, hey, we're going to do this reading again. And I know a lot of it's changed from last time. I'm all, okay, so why are you telling me? I don't care. And then they finally said, hey, we need you to sing this song. I was like, for what? And they were like, yeah, here it is. And my friend did the demo for it. A friend of mine that I do in New York. We actually, very, very well acquainted. I love her so much. Her name is Shoshana Bean, and she did the demo for this song called This Is Me. And I heard it and I was like, this is beautiful. I'm singing alto, yeah? They were like, no, girl, you're singing. And I went, no, girl, I'm not singing it. What you need to do is call Shoshana and tell her, come inside here and sing it, because I'll fully sit in the back and sing whatever part you guys need me to sing, and then do whatever you need me to do, but I'm not doing that. And it took, it took till the day of for them to go, Keala, you can't sit with the choir. And even the choir was telling me, Keala, you can't sit with us. And they weren't being mean about it. They knew how scared I was, because the people that were singing in the choir for this workshop, I've known them for years from different productions. And it was a privilege to be able to be included among them. And then I was sort of ripped out to do this part. And I was going, I really don't wanna, and had no choice. And so I think what people now see on that YouTube clip that has been around, if people haven't seen it, good for you. But if you haven't, you can find it on YouTube. But that's none of that. I was petrified. I was scared. I was so scared that at some point I had to grab something, because I had gone too far away from the choir and I had no one to hold on to. And so I had to turn around and grab somebody, and he was there. So I was like, okay, come here. Because I was shaking. That's what you don't see. I was just petrified because of all these years of going, no, small guy, I don't want, I'm over here. I'm not doing that. I couldn't do it anymore. And so from that point on, I had to learn to sort of accept that and then unlearn what I had been doing up to that point that I didn't need. And then sort of navigate from that point. I'm still doing that. I mean, the fact that I'm talking to you guys and I'm not sweating bricks right now or freaking out is a big thing. Because at any point in time, I would just be like, hi guys, hi. I'm not a bit. I don't want it, but I'm happy, so happy that I can connect, and I'm not afraid of it, and I'm not afraid of myself. Today could be different tomorrow, but today I'm okay.
If you haven't seen that,
good for
video,
you.
Oh no, Google it. It's chicken skin. I mean, that was my first introduction to you. I was in tears, girl. I was in tears.
I was there. Hello. I was freaking out because it's like 100 million people opening a door to something that you don't know you want, or you don't know that you've been looking for, and everybody's so excited for you, and you're looking at them going, the hell's wrong with you guys? Why are you doing this? You never even told me this. Why, and just like kicking in that whole like local style. Why are you guys doing this? Just being mad and upset rather than going, frack, that means I got to go here. I got to do this. I got to do that, and accept that. And if you need help, you see those people that are by the door, that are holding it open, that are there to say, yeah, we're here for that too. We opened the door. We opened it because we're actually also your net that will not only push you in, but also catch you when you don't think you've got a good grip or handle on anything, to just let you bounce right back up.
It's amazing. And that guy you grabbed, wasn't it Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, so...
Thanks for mentioning that, Leanne. I was like, it wasn't just some guy. Let's be clear.
So, but also he had surgery that day, which he knew. So we had rehearsal for, I think, 2-3 days before then. And he had already heard the song that they were making me sing. And he was like, this song's going to be so great. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but okay. Cause I hadn't heard it yet. And we were sort of semi-blocking scenes to film and show to the people that were in the reading, to greenlight the production, to actually get a go from the studio to say, hey, are you going to do this with us? Because for them, it took almost 8 years to do that. And I had only been on board for about 2.5 at the time. Yeah, about 2 years at the time. So, but yeah, him, where? But he had surgery that day, and then I saw him when he came in, and I was like, did you have surgery on your nose? He goes, yeah, I can't sing. And I was like, why you never tell anybody you knew this already? He goes, I know, I didn't want to get in trouble. And I was like, oh, too late, you fam, too late. That's the relationship we have. So if you think of the cousin, that any of you guys have a cousin or a best friend or like a best auntie or uncle without getting slapped, that's the relationship that you guys have. He calls me Egg. I call him Egg, which is a cut down in New Zealand. It's like, oh, you're such an egg. Boiled egg, fried egg, rotten egg, scrambled egg, coddled egg, like all that's what we use to cut each other down. So that's what he is in my phone. That's what I am in his phone. Just because it's local style. That's how we are. And he is, ironically enough, he is that guy. He can roll and he can hang with the best of, all of us that are fully teasing each other. And he'll go there and he'll take it and then he'll dish it right back. And that's the best thing about him. Yeah, he did plenty of movies. I never saw them. I only saw one. It was Logan. I was laughing my head off because I saw the other, because I know they had like the fake Logan who was fully mean and was getting his head blown off. I was laughing my head off. And everybody down the row was like, oh, I was like, I never saw the rest of the film, so? But they were all fully crying. I didn't even care. But I went to go tell he kept asking me, you ever seen this? I said, no. Have you ever seen this movie? I said, no. He goes, you never seen it? I said, no. Why? I don't have to see that to know who you are. he's just this great guy. He's just really, he's like my little brother, not my big brother. He's like my little brother. There's a difference. But yeah, he's an incredible man. His wife is amazing. She's like a second mother to me, and they have 2 adopted children who equally, individually and collectively, are light years ahead of their time in so many ways. They're so understanding. And they are completely family first, always and in everything. So yeah, to come from a family like that and come from a culture like that, and the first thing that you walk into the big part of the industry is that, I already know that will never happen again. However, I know that I have that, and that exists. And not only does it exist, it's a part of my life. So everything that I was raised with doesn't have to go to the wayside. When we were on tour last year and we had the opportunity to go back to New Zealand, I hadn't been to New Zealand until before my mother passed away. And she's been gone for 5 years. And so it was the first time that I got to make memories in New Zealand for me, and not with my mother, who I love, but it was always her agenda and I had to go with the family. And this time I had to actually be myself, and I didn't know what that was. So I had to sort of create that in New Zealand by having experiences, and then also showing Hugh this and showing Deb this and showing other people in the cast what this is and what that meant, and how I connect to it, even though I'm not from there. But my blood is that, and it runs really, really thick and strong, and always will. And the fact that they accept that so graciously and want to, always gives me hope. That's why I have hope in the world from this point on, because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Leanne, I have about a million questions.
But it's your turn. It's your turn.
My favorite color is blue. Okay, go.
That was the burning one. That was the top one. Well, first, really quick, I know we have people watching on this right now, and I just want to remind everyone, if you have questions, please type them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and we will try to answer as many as possible. But if you're watching on Facebook Live, if you type them in there, we have people who will get them over to us as well. So really quick, you talk about this experience.
Congratulations on all this. Can you please give yourselves a round of applause for doing this in the time of COVID? I just want to put that out there. This is amazing and inspiring. And yes, show the people how it's done. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, you talk about this experience of being in the film, The Greatest Showman, right? And doing all that. But before that, you had done a lot of Broadway, both on Broadway and Broadway productions. So I guess for someone on the outside, we would sort of see those as equally, well, it's like, It is performed so much in front of like live audiences, which to me would be even more stressful.
It is. It's actually very stressful.
Navigate those worlds.
You just have to know what part of you needs to exist for each individual one. It's all different. It's all very, very different. And the cool thing about it, and by cool, I mean the most humbling thing about it, is that I have had the privilege and continue to have the privilege of going in between them. And then I'm also kind of in a different part of it as well, because I was on a stage playing another character. Mm-hmm. And so if I could find something inside of me that could connect with that character to sort of amplify it, then I could do it. If I couldn't, then I wouldn't. And then I moved from there to this screen, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, okay. I know the question. I got it. Anyway, that, again, there's so much more nuance to it. A lot of people say that and talk about it in very different aspects. Film and television is another one that you don't use you use bits and pieces of the sum of the whole to tell those stories. And then you go into the music industry, which is probably one of the most raw, unapologetic nuances of show business and the business of performance, because it's you. It's whatever you're telling people you are.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a brand, but you resign to that because that's the stories that you'll be telling. So I have to find wherever it is in me to say, yes, these are the songs I want to sing. I'm singing them because they come from a place inside of me. I will never be able to be a pop artist that can kick out a zillion songs in a second. I'll never be that because it's impossible for me, just because of who I am, my genetic makeup, to connect with that many songs with that much impact to me. I just can't do it. But I won't stop trying to, because in the world of music, for me, what I'm now trying to do is write music and sing music that others have written in the hopes that whatever people are hearing, the words that they're hearing, they can listen to it and sort of tell themselves, oh, me too? Oh my gosh, me too, I think. Oh my gosh, because we can't do it talking. It's very hard for us to do that talking. And it's a language that everyone can understand. And in some cases, many cases, can heal, which is what my goal is, I guess.
And the music industry sort of runs in your family also, right? Your mother was a singer as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes. She was an amazing singer. And when she gave it all up to have us, sorry, but she did. It was her choice. She was trying to groom each of us to go, yeah, you're going to do it too. And the only reason why I went to the stage was because I said, no, I'm not. No. And she goes, yes, you are. And I would go, bye, and walk. I would go head straight. I would study Shakespeare. I would study any type of play performance, any of the greats, Samuel Beckett, Neil Simon, anyone. Like O'Neill, studying anybody that had nothing to do with music because she wanted me to do it. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, that's what people were asking me to do. When I finally got to, these moments where I was given the opportunity to perform, they were going, yeah, what are you going to sing? And I'm going, what? This is a musical? Frick! I don't want to do it. So many times I've said that, but then kind of went, oh God, I need the money. Okay, what you guys want to hear? And then just fully kick something out. I remember one time I did that for a show called, that I ended up doing, called Hands on a Hard Body. And I fully thought it was just a play. And I went in and I did the monologue that they had asked me to do. And I felt so good about it. And they were like, great, what are you going to sing? And I was like, what? And they said, yeah, this is a musical. I was like, are you serious? I said, yeah, it was in the email. And I said, oh, I didn't read the email. So what do you guys want me to sing? I fully was like, oh, so what do you guys want me to sing? I'm not kidding you.
And that was your big breakout role, right?
On Broadway. Yeah. But I mean, because I wanted to do it. I didn't want to sing, but I fully wanted to do it anyway. It just happened that there had to be music, and I obliged and was offered the part, which was incredible. That family we're still actually quite close because of, especially now in these times, there was so much of that score that now pertains to where we are at. And so I hope someday people will be able to hear it again and listen with new ears. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you guys. It's so crazy. I did so much theater, so my mom didn't even have time to ask me, hey, you want to? No, bye. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do it. And then she passed away and I was like, oh, I wonder if I can do it. Typical Polynesian kid. Sorry. So sorry. Better late than never, okay?
So then, we have this amazing sort of performance at the Oscars, right? Yeah. That you're world renowned for as well. How did you prepare for that?
I had a stroke the week before the Oscars. I don't know if anybody knows that. But because I didn't really tell anybody, because I didn't want to. Again, no, don't ask me if that's anything. I didn't want anybody to know about that. I found out that I actually had a disease by having a stroke called moyamoya disease, where one of my main arteries has been colluded for, could be years, decades. And because of it, only half of my brain has been receiving blood. And the other half has been getting blood from smaller, tinier, weaker vessels that are set up and created by the brain to send blood to the most important parts of the left side. And I found out that I had that the week, because the weekend before was when I had the stroke on camera. We were doing a video shoot for the evening of the Oscars. Becky, I'm dying for your face right now. I love it. You're like, what? This was not the
My heart is just going out to you. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm actually trying to not laugh.
Okay.
Because it's hilarious. I'm saying it's hilarious, and I only can be the one that says it's hilarious. But it just it was too much. It was already too much. My brain. I was broke, and I couldn't work because I was promoting the film, which I was very grateful for. They looked after me nonstop, but I was never home. I had just come back from a UK trip and then Tokyo the following week. And then I was sick again. That's why I was wearing scarves and masks all the time, because I was so sick. Wear a mask, I'm just saying, you guys. And by the time I got home and they were asking me they were going to do these video shots of different people who had no makeup on or anything, just breaking down, which was an interesting, whatever. They did that and it didn't happen. And the reason why it didn't happen was because they were filming me and I had a stroke on camera. So they were telling me, so we just need you to break down. I'm like, I got this. Don't you worry. I am fully prepped. I don't need, let's picture this. I don't need that. I'm fully in it. Let's go. And I remember just crying. I had asked them to play an old Mariah Carey song from one of her older albums. And I just started breaking down, and I felt this egg cooking on the top of my head. And then there was a line that was drawn down my tongue, and this side of my tongue had no feeling. It was not moving at all. And then my whole entire right side of my body was gone. I couldn't lift my hands. I had to lift this hand to my face. Nothing was, I had to say stop somehow. And I was trying to figure out how to get what was left of my brain to say it, because I only had half a tongue. Very interesting when you fully cannot talk with half your tongue. In another case, I would be laughing my ass off, but that was very, very scary. And I finally just sort of made a stop sound and just started moaning. And then they yelled, cut. And 10, 15 minutes later, I got my feeling back, and they were doing tests on me that weekend. I had my dress fitting. Christian was in there with his associates on the stroke ward in my room doing costume fittings for me for the Oscars. And then I went into rehearsal on Wednesday to sing again, and I was petrified to sing again because that was the day that I was told, good news, you have Moya Moya. Can't wait to do some surgery on it. And I was like, cool. Can I just do this thing real fast? And can you tell me what I need so that I can do it and not die? And he was like, oh yeah, sure. And just the doctor was so excited and happy to this day. Dr. Wong, fully not seeing this. It's okay. He's Asian. Yes! Asians Unite! He is an amazing neurologist and is a specialist in the field. There are probably, you can count like maybe 50 to 60 cases total that have this disease. And so, yeah, it's a psychiatric thing. I was taking psychiatric tests to solidify the disorder. And they were like, yeah, you have it. I'm all great. And then I had the surgery after I performed. So on the pictures, you can see by my arm, there's a little bit of blue and brown. Uh-huh. That's from everything that was being poked into my veins, because my veins were dried up. They were dehydrated. And I remember waking up actually that weekend in the ICU before they transferred me to the stroke ward to the first hospital. and I could hear my own voice coming back at me in the song. And then I sort of turned over and I saw a bunch of ice skaters on the ice skating to This Is Me. And the poor nurse, she came in and she goes, "That's so beautiful." And I said, "Can you turn that off, please?" And she goes, "Okay." Slowly turned it off.
No.
Switched out my blood pressure cuff, and she fully left. And I couldn't even say, "I'm sorry," because it's a way too long story. You'll never understand. I hope you have a blessed day.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know what to say, but I couldn't anymore. I couldn't, because I just needed to look after myself. That was my prep.
That is the opposite of prep. That is like being nominated for an Oscar and having a stroke in the same week. I don't know how you were even standing.
Girl, because nobody was going to take that away. That's the thing I wanted to do. That's the thing. I remember Hugh and Deb, God love them, they were calling me like every 4 hours. "How are you doing? How's everything?" Because they're my family, of course. And I'm like, I'm okay. And they're like, "Are you going to have somebody else?" I said, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm doing that. I don't care what it takes. If I have to get wheeled out there, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And what you'll never know is that at the beginning and the end of that segment, there were stagehands literally ordered by Hugh Jackman. He called them and said, "You need to look after her because this just happened. You don't need to also say anything at all. Just look after her." And all these stagehands would carry me to, or actually hold my hand and guide me to where I needed to go, and then guide me back so I could sing.
Amazing.
Well, that is strength right there.
That's the way. That's the local way, girl.
Yeah.
I was like, that's that Pacific Islander strength. That
It is. I'm telling you. Knock us down, ready, go. I dare you. Knock us down, ready, go. It really is.
I hate to be the one to break it to you, but when I was researching you, that story of your illness is on your IMDb page. The entire thing. And as I read it, I thought, this is so amazing. She's so open about it, and so many people are going to learn from it. And now you're saying you just get the whole thing hidden.
I did.
That's amazing too.
They actually tried to put an article out about it, and then they were like, "Well, let's do a photo shoot." I was like, no, we don't, again, no, I don't need that, but I'll give you information. I mean, they were calling Christian, People Magazine, and asking him for photos. And Christian was emailing me going, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in a minute, but they're asking me for this." And I declined. "Is that okay?" And I was like, thank you. Because as much as this industry is incredible and it gives us an opportunity to tell stories, very much like social media, it has the other spectrum that can just go off the deep end. So whenever I can, I try as much as I can, with as much knowledge as I have or can gather, try not to go there, just because it doesn't benefit anyone. But yeah, and when I had the surgery, I had to learn how to walk again, how to re-speak. I had to learn how I didn't sing for almost 8 weeks because my body didn't know how to make those sounds. And then when it first came, I was staying at my record producer's home with his wife and his family. Because there's nobody here. It's just me. And they took me in while all of this cognitive therapy was happening, and they were sort of charting how my behavior was, because I couldn't talk a lot because I didn't know how to. There was so much more blood in my brain, and it was getting to all these new places. So when I would go to bed at night, my brain didn't. It felt like the fastest freeway going nonstop, because information was going everywhere, and I had no way of relaying that information in the new way, because there were actual veins and vessels that were getting blood that really hadn't at the time. And so they were tracking it. And then after like 3-4 weeks, I actually cracked a joke, and the kids turned and looked at me and they're like, "She's back."
Oh, it's always the kids that know first.
And we all just cried and just, and it got, it's so much of that was due to them. And I'm forever blessed for that. And if I had to do it again, I would, because it taught me so much. It was hell.
Yeah, don't say if you have to do it again, you would. Let's just go forward, healthy, successful, happy, no more brain surgeries.
Oh, very grateful. Very grateful.
We do have a question from one of our viewers right now, from Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Yes. Hi, Keala. I've been a huge fan since your waitress days. How did you make your transition from Broadway to film? Do you see yourself doing more film projects or live theater in the future, or both?
Yes, Ola. Hi, Amy. Thank you for your question. There's actually a movie coming out in December called All My Life that I had the chance to do before COVID hit. It's actually based on a true story. It's about a couple that has been, they start dating and they get engaged and they find out that there's an illness. I'm not going to tell you anymore, but I'm one of the friends, and it's a beautiful story. It's called All My Life. So it's from Universal. So if you have a chance to watch it, please do.
Where will it be available? Like in theaters?
I don't know if it's digital or in theaters. I know that it's December 4th or 5th, around there. And I get a chance to sing on it, which is amazing and really, really awesome. That's actually where I was this time last year, was in New Orleans filming it. So it was a privilege to be a part of it. Harry Shum Jr., he plays the lead. And then my friend Jess Roth, it plays his love interest. And it's such a great, beautiful story. And it's something that we need right now. So I hope everybody gets a chance to watch it. But yeah,
Harry was an award honoree with HIFF 2 years ago.
Oh, yay! Yeah. Guys, in LXD, him and his now wife, those guys are amazing dancers. I'm just gonna say that. And you know you're Polynesian when you go to somebody else and you go, bruh, I saw you on LXD. I love that, because we love that stuff. You know it. We tried to do it in high school, and some of us never fully did it. That's me. It's okay. But we fully loved it. So the whole time I was on set, I was telling everybody, like in the makeup room, I was like, you guys, you don't even know, you guys. And I was sending them like the episodes off of YouTube. I was like, you guys, that's him. And Harry would be like, Keala, shut it. I'm like, It was great. It was great. But yeah, I did that, and I am currently in production with a Disney Plus show called Big Shot, and so that'll be aired shortly once we film it. Sorry, and I'm finally working on my own stuff. So and a lot of it is to basically sort of try and see if we can heal anything amidst, not just in this country but worldwide, to see if anybody can find a place to heal. And I'm hoping they can find it in the music that I'm writing. I'm hoping. We'll see. But yeah, it's fun.
That's a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just storytelling, guys. And if you can tell it in its truest form and you want to, nothing will stop you. Nothing. The only thing that stops you is you. I want to bear my testimony about that, because I know I stopped. I mean, I was the whole time going, no, thank you. I mean, forever, until someone basically said, can you stop doing that, please? We're just going to do that and see how that goes for you. If you can go, no, thank you. And I learned a lot, and continue to learn a lot.
Earlier, you brought up getting paid with $500 and a bottle of Jameson, which isn't bad at all. But can you speak to the audience and tell them how you found your worth? And and always, I don't know, I think your story will help a lot of people.
I hope so, because I'm that it will help me. Yeah, because the story keeps going. It goes on and on and on. There's a song that's called The Story Goes On. And it's true. It through lineages and through time and through space, that story will continue. It'll be yours, and then it'll be part of someone else's. And I think the most important thing for each of us, no matter what direction we're going, and I've learned this very much so within these times, in the times of COVID, in the times of me being here, sitting in my solitude with my dog, white love, but she just couldn't care less. And I guess that's great. Good for her. She just wants the food. That's fine. I'll just take that, whatever I can get. But in these times, searching for, when you realize that especially what you do for a living is you're searching for someone to matter to. And then all of a sudden this hits, and all of the connections that I've ever had with anyone or made mean nothing because I don't matter to myself. That is a very, very hard thing to say to yourself. I just want to tell you, I know. When you can't say to yourself that you matter enough, that's very dangerous. And not in the sense that it's big and it's egotistical or, totally arrogant. In a sense that you have to know that who you are has always been enough. And like I said, I sang that flippin' song and didn't believe it forever. And I was getting millions of people with messages and emails and texts of other kids, these little children who are pulling on their mother's, sleeves or their pants going, that's her. They know before the parents do. And it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere, which I'm grateful for. But I've also learned this one child. I remember one time, very, very young, I think she was probably 10 or 11. We were at an after party for the Golden Globes. And she wanted to give me a hug. And she goes, I want to be just like you someday. I gave her a hug and I said, honey, you need to want to be just like you, whatever that is. And if you don't know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because you will learn who you are throughout this journey of life. I know who I am today. That could change tomorrow. It changed from yesterday. That's for damn sure. Because I thought I wouldn't be able to talk on this because of how much culturally I've gone through and the tear that I've had in my life because I had a white father and a Polynesian mother. That tore me a lot. And it all happened in my hometown. And I've had to live with that struggle and understand what that means for me and what I can take from it now, because I don't have to take everything from it like I did before. There's so much good in it that I can celebrate and pass on to somebody else, whoever feels that way. We're meant to be, specifically in this country, even in Hawaii, of all places, to be this melting pot, to have all of these cultures, whether they're represented or not, embraced in whatever way. And I think I had to get to that for me, no matter what happened in my life or what will continue to happen in my life on down the line. I have to get to that for me, to care about myself enough to wake up and go, you better matter to yourself enough that you want to be alive and you want to do something good for somebody, even if it's give your dog a treat and watch your dog stare you down for the rest of the night. If that's what it is, you won. And then you get another day. And then you get another day. And those days turn into weeks and they turn into months. Then they turn into a story. They turn into a chapter that you get to talk about with somebody else.
Okay, well, before you make me cry, which would be a first for HIFF talks, I want to make sure that you know and that everyone watching knows that we honor you and are celebrating you very specially this year. We all recognize you. Our audience recognizes you. Keala, you are the recipient of the 40th Annual Hawaii International Film Festival Pacific Islanders and Communications Trailblazer Award, which is a really, really special award to HIFF and I know to Leanne and Pick.
To me.
Even our Q&A guests are chee-hooing you, saying well deserved. That was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Leanne, so many thanks to you. It's always wonderful having you as part of PIC. Please stay tuned. I know, HIFF was definitely trying to get the film that is coming out, Keala, that you were in. So maybe,
for real?
Yeah, All My Life, yeah. So maybe in the future or as part of our, one of our programs. But thank you so much for joining us, and a huge aloha mahalo to everyone.
Yes. Mahalo nui loa kākou.